For the second time, YouTube has played host to the world's biggest international online orchestra, streaming live performances to millions of viewers.
We broke the world record actually for the most watched concert online ever. We beat U2's record. It was, I think, something like 33 million people tuned in on a mixture of computers and on mobile devices. So it's really exciting to get that kind of exposure.
Matisha was one of 4 Australians who were selected to join 97 other musicians from 33 countries around the world in the orchestra. But unlike auditioning for a traditional orchestra, Matisha's experience relied almost exclusively on social media. Musicians competing for spots in the symphony were asked to audition by uploading homemade videos to YouTube.
The audition process was quite different from what we usually do for a normal orchestra. We had to post an audition video online, so they set criteria for us to perform, things like orchestral excerpts and a couple of other pieces, and then we had to post that video online, and that went through 2 stages. The first stage was by a vote by a public panel, so there was professional musicians from all sorts of different orchestras, and then the final round was a public vote.
Matisha is definitely not new to classical music auditions, having played the cello since he was 4 years old and studied at the Conservatorium of Music.
I've done a number of professional auditions, and it's very different because when you audition in a professional orchestra, you actually audition behind a screen, and so it's completely anonymous. They don't know who you are, and they're really just listening for the music. Whereas this is quite the opposite. It's in front of anyone, the whole world really, and you kind of really got to put yourself out there, which is a bit intimidating in many respects. But yeah, it definitely has its positives and negatives.
You're given about 5 or 10 minutes to show them just how good you are, and you've worked so hard, but because you're so nervous, often you muck up and you're not as good as you usually are.
And I also find I never have the edge when it's a record, because I've always got at the back of my head, oh, I could re-record this if I don't play well. So I never really reach that peak of my playing, because I know that I could do it again if it's not good enough. Whereas in a live audition, you've got one shot only, and if you stuff it up, well, that's it. So you kind of got that adrenaline running through you.
A number of people did it professionally. They put a lot of time into it. I did it very last minute. I only decided I was going to do it a few days before, and I actually filmed it just with my little digital camera on movie mode, and I did it in my bedroom. So it was all very last minute, but I was very lucky to get selected.
Matisha was among 3,000 applicants who posted their repertoire online, allowing viewers to comment and rate their ability. After the winners were selected, they were flown into Sydney for a week of intense rehearsals and hard work before the festival began.
Yeah, it was really intense, because you don't usually put together such a big program in such a short space of time. But yeah, we rehearsed every day. It was, and also because everyone's come from overseas, we all went out every night, and just it was a lot of socialising as well. So it was good fun, but definitely took me a good few weeks to recover from it afterwards.
Members of the orchestra were given the opportunity to work with world-class mentors, such as renowned Grammy Award-winning conductor and artistic advisor Michael Tilson-Thomas.
In the cellos, we're really lucky to have a guy from Vienna who came all the way in just to mentor us a little bit. So we had, they had all sorts of amazing artists, a lot of really cool Australian artists like Richard Tognetti, who's the director of the Australian Chamber Orchestra, as well as a lot of international guest artists.
The YouTube Symphony Orchestra showcased its talent and achievements in a week-long festival of indoor and outdoor performances. Everything from large orchestral shows in the Opera House to string quartets right here in the Botanical Gardens. But it wasn't all hard work and formal concerts. The professionals did get the chance to let down their hair in a fun and casual jam session at the Basement nightclub. Every event was filmed and uploaded to the video sharing website to document the week and share an insight into the world of classical music.
There were cameras everywhere following us all the time, which was, good and bad, but it was great, I think, for classical music that we got such good exposure, because it's very hard in this day and age for classical music to really get word out there in this way. So I think it was really cool that Google took this sort of initiative.
The events culminated in a grand finale performance that showed the project's aim of using technology to make the arts more accessible. A live version of the concert was projected on the sails of the Opera House, with the music soaring out over the harbour for thousands of people to enjoy. The 1,200-year-long tradition of classical music is finally entering the realm of new technology, and through social media, millions of people can now experience this music at its best. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's edition of The Social Sweep. I'm Taryn Harris, and we'll see you next week.